Welcome back to the Let's Talk About It show. I'm your host, Peter Abbarno, and this is a great show because we are going to be talking about the Polar Plunge for Special Olympics, the Lewis County Polar Plunge for Special Olympics, and the Lewis County Icicle Brigade is a team put together by a group of individuals here in Lewis County that I'm honored and proud to be a part of. And with me today, Sara Sons with the Public Health and Social Services at Lewis County, and Matt McKnight, Chehalis Police Department, the Mr. Deputy Chief of the Chehalis Police Department. We're going to be talking about the Polar Plunge and how you can get involved, how you can support the Polar Plunge, because all the money when you join the Lewis County Icicle Brigade goes to Lewis County athletes and their families. And the plunge is at Mayfield Lake on January 24th, and the plunge starts at 10 a.m. So plenty of time to sign up, plenty of time to not make excuses, because Sara and Matt are going to talk about why it's so fun, why it's a good cause, and it's really not that cold. So let's get started. Matt, welcome to the Let's Talk About It show.
Good morning.
Yeah, it is awesome that you're here. Tell us a little bit about yourself. I mean, you are the Deputy Chief of the Chehalis Police Department, and I've seen you at the torch run. And for 1 year now, you guys started doing the Polar Plunge, which is awesome because it's really helping to elevate it to the next level.
Right. We got involved in the torch run, I want to say it was 4 years ago. We started doing that with the great group of people that we have that help run that. And they convinced me to jump into Mayfield Lake last year, which seemed a lot better of an idea in June when we talked about it than it did in January. But you said it wasn't that cold. I don't know if that's true. It was pretty darn cold.
Well, it depends. It's subjective, right? I mean, it depends on the air temperature. It depends if it's really cold out, the water feels warm.
Well, you're right. I think last year the water was warmer than it was outside.
Yeah.
But it was still cold.
So tell me, your first time joining the Polar Plunge was last year. What was that experience like?
It was a lot of fun. We spend most of the morning setting up, getting ready, getting to spend time with some great people and see the athletes and the volunteers come out. And then as the day progresses, you hope the sun comes up. And when it does a little bit, it's kind of nice. And then when we do the plunge itself, it's amazing to see everybody run into the cold water and experience that sense of team and camaraderie for a really good cause. It
is a good cause, and not a cause that you are, unaware of. I mean, you have been part of the torch run, and that's also for Special Olympics. So tell me, why have you gotten involved in Special Olympics on a personal level? Because this is more than just the Chehalis Police Department. I mean, you're wearing the badge, you carry the banner for Chehalis Police Department, but you're doing it personally as well, and you can tell that you have a heart for this.
It's really amazing to watch these athletes and some of the challenges they have and some of the things they have to go through, and watch them prepare and get ready and then compete in these events. And I mean, really, us being able to jump in the water, the cold water, is nothing compared to the achievements that they have. And running the torch it's a small fraction of what kind of heart and courage they have.
Yeah, and we kind of go from fire to ice, right? A torch to jumping in a freezing lake.
If we just pair.
And if you're just tuning in to the Let's Talk About It show here on AM1470 KELA or KELAAM.com, I'm your host, Peter Abbarno. With me, Sara Sons with Public Health and Social Services at Lewis County, as well as Matt McKnight, the Deputy Chief of the Chehalis Police Department. And we're talking about the Polar Plunge, the Lewis County Polar Plunge with the Lewis County Icicle Brigade team. And you can join the team or support the team at impactimpact.sowa.org/fundraiser. Find us, the Icicle Brigade at Lewis County, the Lewis County Polar Plunge. I mean, all the funds here stay local. So when you join the Lewis County Icicle Brigade and you help us raise money, it stays with Lewis County athletes and Lewis County families. And that's really important to us. That's one reason we do this, to make sure that our families, our local families, many who are struggling, who have to, travel for practices and travel for games or buy uniforms, they have the funds to be able to do that. And we make a really inclusive community for all. And Sara, tell us a little bit about, why you joined, a little bit about how you got involved.
Yeah, so I work for Lewis County Public Health and Social Services as the Developmental Disabilities Coordinator. And part of that includes coordinating for our Lewis County Special Olympics team. And my first day at the county was actually being part of the law enforcement torch run that happened in 2018. And so that was kind of my first opportunity to be part of Special Olympics. And I was on the bus with all the athletes, and just part of that energy and being part of it was just something that really stuck with me. And we did have a community coordinator for a while, and then during COVID, she had stepped back. And so I kind of found myself stepping into that role. And I also had a daughter who started participating in Special Olympics. So it became something that my whole family got involved with. So I've been part of the torch run, part of the polar plunge, and then part of just the day-to-day coordination of the sports that we offer with Lewis County Special Olympics.
Well, and Sara, you bring a really interesting perspective, not just as a parent to someone who participates in Special Olympics, but I mean, you're in public health. I mean, that's kind of your job. I mean, you see a lot of the need out there in our community every single day. I mean, let's talk first. I mean, what does it mean to you as you help, facilitate the torch run and the polar plunge and these things for our community?
Yeah, I think the biggest thing for me is that Special Olympics gives an opportunity for people to participate in sports year round. And so we offer sports all 4 seasons throughout the year. And that brings a lot of opportunity for people to participate in activities that are healthy activities, and also opportunity for people to be included and seen out in the community. And so I think that's a huge benefit of Special Olympics. I think that another piece of it is Special Olympics is really, no matter what the sport is, there's something for everybody of all ability. So when I talk about inclusion, it's not just being out in the community, but it's really being able to participate in a really meaningful way. And that's something that Special Olympics provides. Well,
and when you say that, especially about, what it provides, let's talk a little bit about what it means to the families and to the athletes, because before we jumped on the air, we were just talking about a couple of years ago, a parent mentioning to you, I was eavesdropping a little bit, but they were talking to you a little bit about how the year before we were able to hit that $10,000 fundraising mark just from the polar plunge, and we were able to buy uniforms, and they thought they were going to have to use the old ratty ones that didn't fit and were ripped, and how happy and how proud she and the team were that they can go to these competitions and look good and represent our community.
Yeah, I think it's important to note that we run our local program 100% on fundraising dollars. And so for a while there, before we were a little bit, more successful and hit that $10,000 mark in fundraising, we're using uniforms year after year after year. And so there was a time there when we didn't have the nicest uniforms, or people were showing up to state competitions in uniforms that didn't match. And so we were able to use these dollars that were raised locally and buy all new uniforms for our team. And they showed up in all matching uniforms representing Lewis County, looking really good, feeling really good, and really excited to show up and have actual uniforms and not kind of mismatched T-shirts that they were wearing before. So that meant a lot to the athletes and for the families. The other piece I'd like to note is that fundraising allows us to provide these activities to athletes at no cost to them. So we provide the uniforms, we provide transportation. If somebody doesn't have their own transportation, we pay for the facilities, we pay for the equipment, the supplies, everything needed, and it's no cost to the athletes and families who are participating.
And if someone's listening right now and they're like, I'm not going to jump in the water, I mean, they want to just to contact Sara and say, I just want to write you a check. I mean, can they do that outside of these types of competitions?
Yes, they can, but they would need to reach out to me directly to make that donation, just so we can ensure that it stays local. And I register for the plunge and I don't actually jump in. I should maybe not tell on myself totally. We love for people to jump in, but you can register to be part of the team, and you can fundraise as part of the Lewis County Icicle Brigade without having to jump in.
I don't mind if you fake it, and there are people who will come and raise $100 or even $25, and they just want to come and be part of it. And they're just as important a member of our team as the people who jump in and go, completely underwater, like us crazy people. But I mean, I think it's important. But if they were going to reach out to you, how would they reach out to you? Would they go to like public health to reach out to you, or
they could reach out to me at public health would be the best way. And my email, can I give it?
Sure, yeah, give it away.
Is Sara.Sons. That's SARA.SONS at lewiscountywa.gov.
And it's important that you mention that, because one of the things that I mean, the listeners already know that we're sensitive to this. We want the money to stay local. Like, we're really protective to make sure our folks and our families get the benefit of our hard work in raising this money. Because I remember when I started with Polar Plunge, and I, like you, Matt, was asked maybe, I don't know, eight years ago or something by Ruben Ramirez, who is really, to me, one of the heartbeats of this organization. I mean, he's the one who got me involved. I mean, he's super passionate about this. But I remember he asked me, and I joined, and it was up in Seattle, which is why we moved it to Mayfield Lake. I mean, it was just inaccessible for families to go up there and for our community to go up there. But I remember posting something about raising money, and there was a little bit of few people like backlash saying, well, why would I give you money when it's just going to go to Seattle families and it's going to and I was like, I didn't have that answer. And it took talking to folks like you, Sara, and Ruben and others to say, no, if we earmark it and you contact us and you raise money, you contact Sara, or you raise money through the Lewis County Icicle Brigade, that money stays local, and that's really important. And I would imagine, Matt, I mean, that makes a difference for you too. I mean, you want to stay local.
Oh, absolutely. I mean, we want to serve our local community. I think that's why we're all here. We want to support those athletes. We want to make sure that they, first and foremost, can go and participate in these things. We have to look out for our neighbors first and everyone else second. That's just kind of the nature of
that is cutthroat things. Though, but it's true. It's true.
It is a little bit, but I mean, we are part of this community, and we want to make sure that the community is successful.
Well, and Matt, I mean, you're with the Chehalis Police Department, so I mean, you're in the community. You see the community members all the time. I mean, you see a lot of those folks who are suffering and needing that hand up, and you probably have seen a lot of families who just can't make ends meet, and especially if you've got a special needs, child or adult who wants to participate in Special Olympics. I mean, that added cost is a lot.
Sure. Yeah, we unfortunately in law enforcement see a lot of people that are struggling, and we just aren't in the position to help them. And this is one of those things with the Special Olympics and the Polar Plunge that we're able to help those and try to give back to our community a little bit more. So I
mean, it's important. And so we know that the Chehalis Police Department's involved, and I already mentioned Ruben Ramirez, and most people know Ruben from Centralia Police Department. They're involved as well. I mean, we've got a bunch of other law enforcement agencies involved, right? We've got, name some off. What?
So we've got the Lewis County Sheriff's Office is involved. I know Chris Rubin and Chris Sweet over there have helped us with the motors for the torch run, and they do the Polar Plunge too. I think Chris.
I don't know if I've ever seen Chris Sweet actually jump in though. I mean, have you seen him?
I don't know. I've only been to the one, so
okay.
I don't remember. But there were a lot of people there.
We'll have to see whether or not he actually goes in.
I may have to drag him.
I need confirmation, so we'll get a drone out there.
I know Chris Rubin's entire family goes, and there's quite a few of them, and we've started getting the state patrol involved. I know that. Emergency management has been involved in the past. Some of the fire departments have been involved. I feel like every year we add a couple more organizations to it, and it just continues to grow.
Tribal Police, Chehalis, Tribal. They've been great too. Has Riverside Fire been involved?
I think Riverside Fire is involved in the torch run.
Yeah.
I don't know if they're involved in the Polar Plunge.
Are firefighters scared of cold water?
I think they're afraid of the number of police that are there.
It could be that. I mean, I think we can build some healthy competition to see if some firefighters would like to join the Lewis County Icicle Brigade and jump in.
It would be nice to see how many of them show up. I mean, they're usually bundled up in all that bunker gear. They might not be used to the cold weather.
But it is. I'm laughing because I know, and I'm hoping. Well, I know I'm going to share this with Riverside because I think it's important to know that there's so many agencies involved, from Lewis County themselves to the city, the state, tribal. There's so many folks in our community who are going above and beyond. And it's important for our listeners to know. And if you're just tuning in to the Let's Talk About It show, I'm Peter Abbarno, your host today. And we're talking with Sara Sons, who is at Public Health and Social Services here in Lewis County, and Matt McKnight, who's Deputy Chief over at the Chehalis Police Department. And we are talking about the Polar Plunge, which is on January 24th. Mark it on your calendar, January 24th, 10 a.m. It is over at Mayfield Lake at the beach. There's going to be bathrooms. There's going to be vendors. There's going to be coffee. I mean, last year there was some food. There was food, coffee, donuts. People brought stuff. It was a lot of fun.
I don't remember seeing donuts, and I think I would know, but I do remember seeing coffee and hot chocolate.
Well, Centralia PD got there before Chehalis PD, so the donuts may have been already
that could
taken.
have been what happened.
But there were donuts, and I'm shocked you didn't know, Matt. But this year I know they're talking, and Ruben is doing a great job with Brenda. And they are organizing, I think, more vendors to come.
I think that's what they were talking about doing. I actually don't know how many. I know Brenda Paget over at the Onalaska School District has been fantastic in helping organize it, trying to get the school more involved in the Polar Plunge this year.
Yeah, she's the superintendent over at Onalaska, and she's involved as well and is doing an amazing job and has always. I mean, she's always been involved in the torch runs too. I mean, she's always involved. She's like Ruben's right-hand woman. Well, it's his sister, so she should be. So it's a family affair. But if you wanted to donate to the event or join the team, you can go to impact.sowa.org/fundraiser, and that's impact.sowa.org/fundraiser, and find the Lewis County Plunge. Join the Lewis County Icicle Brigade team. That ensures that the money stays in Lewis County. You could also contact Sara. Sara, do you want to give your email again, just so that people can contact you at Lewis County Public Health and Social Services to make sure that if they want to donate or sponsor somehow, they can get in contact with you directly?
Sure. My email is sara.sons, that's SARASONS @lewiscountywa.gov.
And I also, Sara, I would have to say this too. Your husband participates in everything. Like, I'm a big fan of your husband.
Yeah.
He's a cool guy.
A steady volunteer.
He is a steady volunteer, but boy, he can run.
Yes. And so he runs the entire torch run. Every year for the last few years. He enjoys that. But he also, something that he does is he drives our van, our county van that we have. We have a 12-passenger van that was actually donated to us by Lewis County Transit a few years ago, and that's allowed us to provide transportation to athletes to get to the regional, sub-regional, regional, and state games. Well, so he's our driver.
And it seems like I only see him like twice a year at the torch run and at the Polar Plunge. But, I mean, it's so great that we bring families and more people in, whether it's our work families and bringing in, employees or our workmates, or bringing in our regular families. I mean, it's nice that we're expanding this out and out. And for those people who might be afraid to jump in, as Matt said, it could be firefighters. I don't know. I'm not saying that, but I'd like to see a good competition. Sara, I mean, we see lots of families coming. If you're afraid to jump in alone, bring someone.
Yeah, we do see a lot of families, and we've had a few athletes who have even plunged, which has been cool. And I think that you mentioned it earlier, the coolest thing about doing it local is that it actually makes it accessible for our athletes and families to come and see the community support.
Yeah, Patty Nelson always comes with her son, and Patty brings a whole crew, and they always dress up into something. They were penguins one year. They were, I think, polar bears another year. They were, I think, fairies as one year or something, or unicorns. They always have a theme, which makes it even more fun.
Yeah, I would agree.
Yeah, I mean that's a lot of fun, and it's hard not to talk about the Polar Plunge specifically without mentioning Tom Alderson, right? I mean, Tom has been great. Awards West has donated swag over the years, and in the last 2 years, including this year, if you sign up for our team and you help us raise money, challenge coins. That's pretty cool for athletes and participants to get as a memento of their commitment, but they could then have a collection over the years. All right, I'm going to take a quick break for our sponsors. We will be back with Sara and Matt, and we're going to be talking about the Lewis County Polar Plunge and making sure that you join us on January 24th at 10 a.m. at Mayfield Lake. All right, we're back on Let's Talk About It, AM1470 KELA with Sara and Matt, and we are talking about the Polar Plunge on January 24th at 10 a.m. Mayfield Lake, and you can join us or sponsor us, support us, like Tom Alderson. We were just talking about Tom Alderson and all the amazing things he does, providing swag for Torch Run and Polar Plunge and the challenge coins that he donated last year and this year. Sara, just an amazing guy, and Awards West does a lot for Special Olympics.
Yeah, I would agree. Tom Alderson has been a great supporter, whether it's through the Polar Plunge or the law enforcement torch run. He's always stepping up and supporting us in different ways. And something I always like to share about Tom, because I didn't know this until just a couple years ago, but Tom was actually the original coordinator for Lewis County Special Olympics. So his heart has been with Special Olympics for a very long time, and he's been a huge supporter of our local team.
Yeah, I mean, Tom has been a supporter of so many things. I mean, it's hard to not look around the community at an event or a charitable organization that Tom hasn't, in Awards West and his family, haven't had their fingers in helping promote, donate. I mean, he's done a lot. And I am sure our athletes and our families appreciate that as well, right? I mean, he has been, when was he the coordinator, the original coordinator? It had been a long time ago.
I don't know the exact dates.
Because he's a young man.
It's been a while.
Yeah, I mean, Tom's not that old, but I mean, look, but it takes volunteers. It takes the proverbial passing the torch, right? Because none of us are going to be doing this in 30 years maybe. So it takes new volunteers and a new generation to make sure that our athletes and our families don't fall through the cracks and we continue to do this. I mean, our goal, Matt, and I think you mentioned this early on, is, your first year was last year. This will be your second, but the goal is to bring in more law enforcement officers to challenge, like we tease firefighters, we tease other law enforcement officers. We want to make sure we're teasing people and challenging people because we want to keep hitting higher marks, right?
Right, and it's always in good fun, when we tease the firefighters and the state patrol, but it also gets them to come out. It's a little friendly competition to see who can show more support. That's kind of how we got the state patrol involved in the torch run, as we teased them a little bit about us running further than them, and then they started showing up, and hopefully teasing the firefighters will get them to show up for the Polar Plunge, and they can start joining our team, and we can start to grow that volunteer group even bigger.
Yeah, and with Brenda Paget with the Onalaska School District, I mean, look at all the school districts that are around the area that can help do this. All the sports teams. I mean, having one soccer team challenge another, have one girls basketball challenge a boys basketball. I mean, we've done that for back to school supply drives. And we see a lot of those athletes, especially at the torch run. I mean, a lot of the high school and even middle school athletes run the torch run. Now it's going to really challenge them. Can you actually go into 35, 37 degree water at Mayfield Lake for a brief moment and then get your hot cocoa or coffee or donuts and then warm up?
It's just a short period of time for a great cause. I mean, we run out there, you dunk in, and if you don't want to go all the way down, nobody's watching. You can just run out there and come back. We won't make fun of you too much, unless, of course, you're a firefighter, and then we'll tease you for it. But you got to jump in there and get in the cold. It's just a second, and then you'll be out, and everything will be fine.
Yeah, and it's really become quite the event. You get how many folks? I think there was over 100 last year that jumped in. And if you talk about all the others who didn't jump in, Sara, you have to be probably 150 or more. I mean, it is quite a party. I mean, it is kind of a party atmosphere.
I was really surprised. For the first year, I thought, okay, there would be a handful of us out on the cold weather, and a few of us would get in the water. And when I got there and saw how many people were there and how much support there was, it was impressive, and it was really humbling to know that you got to be one part of that large group of people.
And I do have to also give a shout out to the Chronicle, because they show up with a drone usually. Jason Baker shows up with with his camera, and they're live streaming it. They're doing a story on it. They're interviewing a lot of the people who plunge in and the families. I mean, it's nice that we have a community that says there's a lot of other stuff going on, but we're going to make this a priority.
It's really great because there's a lot of negativity out. I mean, that's just the kind of world we live in. And this is something that's so overwhelmingly positive. And nobody can say anything negative about the polar plunge or the torch run for the Special Olympics. It's just an amazing, great, heartwarming event that's really an honor to be a part of.
Well, and it is heartwarming because we talk about how, it's cold. But one of the things that I always say before we jump in is cold hands, cold feet, but warm hearts. And it's really true is that, there's temporary coldness of your hands and feet. You're going to be temporarily cold, but the feeling you get before, during, and after, and then hopefully it continues all the way through into the torch run. I mean, there's a lot of warm hearts out there, a lot of big hearts, not a lot of Grinches.
No, everybody seems to be happy. Everybody's having a good time. There's never a negative person that I've found at either of the events. And really, once we finish one, we're as soon as the polar plunge is done, we're starting to plan for the torch run, and we'll be off and doing that in June.
Yeah, and that's another big one. So Matt, if there is, and I'm sure you already heard this when you decided to jump in, if there are people out there who say, "There's no way I'm jumping in the water." Right. I mean, we've got options. And we'll give Sara's contact information again. And look, if you want to join our team, it's not going to be hard to find us. I mean, we did a Chronicle article, which was amazing. It's got the links in there to donate or join. We're all over social media. We'll give those information again. But I mean, for the people who say, "Why would you do that? I don't want to do that. I'm scared." I mean, what's the kind of the one or two things that you would say to encourage them to really take the plunge?
Well, I'll be honest. I didn't want to do it the first time either in the beginning. It's cold water, but it's a short period of time. It's that heartwarming, great feeling, and even now I don't remember how cold the water was. I remember how I felt before and after being part of the event, but I really couldn't tell you how cold the water was. It didn't matter anymore.
And it was safe too. I mean, there's a lot of people are like, "Well, aren't you worried about this or that or cold water shock?" Well, this is when we walk in or run in. I mean, you're preparing your body for it. It's not an unexpected coldness. And there's a lot of medical personnel around to make sure people are safe. And I think that's important. And Sara, I mean, that was one thing that I know we talked about for many years about the safety of this. So I guess same question. I mean, what would you say to people who are still worried about maybe taking the plunge or just coming and joining and being part of the festivities?
Yeah, I would say just that I would encourage people to come, even if you're unsure about jumping in. I think there's such an energy there, and the energy of the people, the participants, the people jumping in, running out. It's a little bit of organized chaos there because it does happen pretty quick. People are in, out, getting dressed. There's the trailers with the heaters. And something that we're talking about every meeting as we're preparing for this is the safety and making sure that we have the right people there in the event that somebody needed a first responder. There's going to be plenty of those people there. So safety is always something that we're talking about, planning for. And then the other piece of that is we're always looking at ways to keep people comfortable too. So making sure that there's heaters available, making sure that there's warm coffee, hot cocoa, and all around that people are just having a good time while they're there.
Yeah. And if you want to show up and, we always have QR codes at the event. I mean, you could just show up and then join the team right there or just donate, or maybe you're at a job where you and your workmates want to, collectively donate to the Polar Plunge and to Special Olympics. So Sara, why don't you give your email one more time, and then I think we'll get ready and start warming up. Get our bodies warmed up now because I know it's going to be so cold January 24th.
Sure. My email is sara.sons, SARA .sons at lewiscountywa.gov.
All right. Well, thank you for tuning into the Let's Talk About It show. I'm your host, Peter Abbarno, and I want to thank Sara and Matt for coming in today, talking about the Polar Plunge, talking about Special Olympics. And I really do hope you join our Lewis County Icicle Brigade team and jump in Mayfield Lake with us on January 24th at 10 a.m. It'll be a blast, and you won't regret it. So again, thank you for tuning in to the Let's Talk About It show.